Hello everyone. Meghan Markle tries to get Joe Rogan fired from Netflix after being mocked in a comedy special. Karma and retribution are the words I can use to describe that evil, dangerous woman. Maybe what I thought was only in science fiction movies, but the truth is that it is a real story. When you watch drama movies where movie characters bully each other, do you feel angry like vomiting blood? I can't sit still. And likewise, Meghan's story is exactly reaching its climax. The most brazen, bossy part is Meghan Markle attempting to have Joe Rogan fired from Netflix after he was insulted in his comedy special. Yeah, let's get into this lunacy. I'm simply asking a pal here. Is Meghan attempting to get Joe Rogan fired from Netflix after being insulted in his comedy special? New ban hila ko hai bin luan so in, vanu ban kong, give hai bin luan so do. Now, this is coming from a blind item, so conduct your own research and draw your own conclusions. I think that this blind item is about Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Joe Rogan, and Netflix. This is what it says. Meghan Markle, the illiterate one, has been phoning, emailing, and messaging non-stop the CEO of the streaming service, Netflix, where she has her projects. She's threatening to remove them because of what stand-up comedian and podcast host Joe Rogan said about the ginger-haired Prince Harry. The streamer wishes for her to remove her projects. She won't, however, because no one would accept them. So, what is this potentially all about? This headline appeared within the previous 24 hours. Yes, has Joe Rogan torn everything to tears in his most recent comedy program? Joe Rogan Burn the Boats, which premiered on Netflix. It was first streamed live on August 4th, but is now accessible for playback. This is what he said about Prince Harry and how he was completely mocked. It was great. Indeed, this is what he said. I got cancelled so often during, I'm going to name this Bud Light since, as a YouTube human reviewer, I discovered by chance that this is a genuine tale. One time, I woke up in my undies, plopped down, turned on the TV, and Prince Harry was talking about me. I'm like, I just woke up, I'm vulnerable, I'm wearing my underpants, and there's a prince on TV talking about me. He then impersonates Harry, which, in my opinion, is really ridiculous, stating he's like, Joe Rogan is giving out dangerous vaccine misinformation. And then Joe Rogan adds, my initial thought was, did I? I might have. So he goes on to completely insult Harry, adding, could you picture taking shrooms with Harry? Can you imagine if you could fool that man into taking mushrooms with you when you see him chew it and swallow it? There's a time when you take shrooms, when you know you can't vomit it up anymore. And you're like, oh no, it's going to, and you're sitting eye to eye with the prince. And here's the thing, shrooms take about 40 minutes to kick in, but around 35 minutes in, you hear them approaching, footfall in the distance, and Harry is tripping balls. He adds that if the occasion arose, he would hover over and ask, are you sure vaccines are safe? You are not a scientist. Oh, gosh. Now, this is the point, right? I would also think that Meghan would be upset. And by extension, Joe Rogan is criticizing not only Harry, but also Meghan, because she was a part of the Vax Equity campaign back in the day, promoting it through the Vax Live event. So that's why I'm arguing that, in my opinion, Joe Rogan also insulted Meghan, which, what? When Joe Rogan mocks Harry, I expect Meghan will take it personally, because she was also part of the Vax Equality campaign. Now, we know Meghan has previously been furious about Hollywood comedians taking the piss out of her. Because, guys, do you recall this from last year? I am sure you do. But for those who do not, I will remind you, South Park, a little-known sitcom that has been running for a few decades, aired an episode last year called The Worldwide Privacy Tour, which completely mocked Harry and Meghan. It was a true masterclass in satire. And this report came out shortly after that, indicating that Meghan was upset and overwhelmed by this particular South Park episode, to the point where she and Harry instructed lawyers to go over that South Park episode with a fine-tooth comb to see if there was anything they could use against the South Park creators to sue them. Yes, there were reports shortly after that they were planning to sue the South Park creators. Now, these rumors have become so widespread that the South Park creators broke their silence on these alleged lawsuit threats, essentially turning around and saying, "Guys, this ain't our first rodeo. We've been doing this for a few decades. This ain't the first time we've been threatened with a lawsuit, and it ain't gonna be the last. Jog on, because we have free speech and, full creative authority, and it's all satire, and you have nothing to stand on. So jog on." Harry and Meghan. When it was out, guys did a piece soon after in which Harry and Meghan, through their representatives, said, "Oh, rumors that we're thinking at suing South Park. Oh, no, baseless nonsense. We're not going to sue South Park." And the authors, no, we're going to let it go. It's all Gucci. Now, here's the thing. Let's go full circle here. So, if what occurred with South Park is any indication, what will happen with Netflix? Again, conduct your own homework. If this is a blind item, it will be all bark and no teeth. In other words, it's just another hollow and pointless threat for Meghan to opinion, conspiracy theory, or whatever, get her way by attempting to dominate people via fear, like she supposedly, rumored, did with South Park. When reports circulated that she was considering suing them, South Park responded by saying, "Guys, this ain't our first rodeo. Try it." And then quickly turning around and saying, "Oh no, rumors that we're going to sue are all baseless nonsense." Perhaps it is also unfounded rubbish in the sense of a threat. Her vow to leave Netflix if Joe Rogan is not sacked by the streaming service. Another example of a meaningless and ineffective threat, reportedly from Meghan to opinion, conspiracy theory, or whatever, attempting to get her way by using fear to manipulate others. Guess what? Don't think it'll work. Joe Rogan has achieved greater fame and popularity than Harry and Meghan. I would wager $1 million that if Netflix had to pick between keeping Joe Rogan and maintaining Harry and Meghan, they would choose Joe Rogan every time. They will throw Meghan under the bus to keep Joe Rogan. So, sure, if she's attempting to scare Netflix with "fire Joe Rogan" or else, I don't think she'll go very far. Do you? In fact, not a smart idea to go after Rogan again. She wanted him off Spotify because he was way more popular than her. Keep it up, helter skelter. Your past will be put on blast if you try to go after Joe. You are gonna start messing with the wrong people. Getting Joe fired in the USA is almost equivalent to trying to fire Queen Elizabeth when she was alive. Meghan did try to get the Queen fired, given she thought she could do the job better. That's crazy. Do you remember Meghan threw a tantrum, and if Piers didn't say sorry on air, he would be fired? I'm from the States and so proud of Piers for standing up for free speech. Most of us couldn't just walk like that. Sharon Osbourne as well. Rogan brings in money. The Duchess of Narcissism wastes it. I seriously doubt Netflix will choose her over Joe. If you cannot take the heat, get out of the kitchen. It is really big leap to say Meghan products connected to Netflix will not make money. Meghan and Harry should just drop all the non-money producing programs. Concentrate on one thing. Harry is getting $7 million next year. Drop all the junk and focus on achieving one big thing. Stop giving people a reason to criticize you. That's my honest advice, but in reality, it's going to be hard because we all know how stupid Harry is. Let's face it, Netflix would love Meghan to leave them. That's why Netflix did it. Good on them. Joe makes Netflix and Spotify money, something the delusional pair don't. The moment Netflix completely sever their ties with the Duke and Duchess of Delusion is when I'll reactivate my subscription. Not a moment before. I heard she's threatening to pull her projects. I'm sure they're really worried about that. How can anyone defend themselves on bullying accusations when all they do is threaten everyone on a daily basis? I think she's only threatening to get out of her Netflix deal because she knows they would never fire Joe. She would rather come out looking like a social justice warrior on false pretenses than have it publicized that her awful content didn't make the cut and her contract was terminated. Besides, Talk about an overinflated sense of importance, not to mention talent. Who else would employ Meghan? Well, she better get half the world sacked. Honestly, I hope she sues him. He's got more money than she has sense. Why? By Meghan. As though, do you think that she put out the blind item? Who does she think she is? The Queen? Allegedly, and in my opinion, she is so used to making a phone call and getting people fired or demonetized that she thinks it will work even with someone as profitable as Joe Rogan. She doesn't understand that it's all about profit. He is hugely popular and the profits come rolling in. She will not succeed with him. Meghan, when are you going to learn you ain't nobody? Joe Rogan is on Spotify, not Netflix. His audio has recently been made available to Apple Audio, Amazon Music, and YouTube. He has a ridiculous number of subscribers, 17. 1 million subscribers with 37 billion views. Spotify just re-signed him under a new $250 million contract. The idea that she could get him fired when he is generating that much cash is nothing more than wishful thinking on her part. This is why they did the Parents Network pseudo-help forums, a self-serving duo so desperate to shut the world up about telling the reality of them, kind of like a subtle media blackmail and taking advantage of the most vulnerable people. It's disgusting. I wouldn't be surprised to find Harry and Meghan have come to realize laws cost a lot of money. A lot of money. And when you have hot and cold running lawsuits, the bank balances dwindle quickly, especially when you're spending $500,000 and getting back $125,000 or nothing. Very soon, the hole you're in financially is wide and very deep, and your house is in danger of falling in it as well as all else you own. Lawsuits are an incredibly expensive hobby. Don't do it. You never get back what you put into it. One lawyer in a town will starve to death. Two will both get rich, not the people they represent. Though, in short, it is hilarious and remarkable that Harry and Meghan think that any media will put them ahead of Joe Rogan or South Park. They are delusional. Do you agree with my views? Please comment below to share with me. I also hope to receive a lot of love from you by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much, everyone. Now I have to say goodbye and see you again.